speaking to AFL clubs yesterday morning, they were fearful that training, in fact, would be cancelled for the whole week. So they were preparing individual plans, giving them to players, almost getting in early. But then the AFL ruled that clubs would be able to train, or teams would be able to train in groups of 10. And that's something that they did pretty extensively last year. The big test will come at the end of this week, Joey, to see whether this lockdown is extended. So currently we know it's for 5 days, ends on Wednesday. But if this is extended for a second week, in footy terms, it may mean that all the clubs right around the country have to undergo the same restrictions as the Victorian clubs, out of fairness, if you know what I mean. So when the Perth outbreak happened, only West Coast and Fremantle had to train with one other person for 1 hour, but all the other clubs could do their own thing. But if it extended into a second week, all the clubs would have to be brought onto the same page.
Do you agree with that, or is that just bad luck? What do you think?
I think it needs to be the same for everyone. I will give them a week. That's okay. But if it continues into a second week and does impact the preparation, I think for fairness that every club probably has to be brought onto the same page there, if you know what I mean. But how much value would you get out of training at a group of 10? So you can't do... all the clubs now are in their match sim. They're doing the full ground.
That's what I was thinking. You're at match practice stage now. Yeah, you're at match practice. And soon they're going to be playing practice matches against other clubs.
Yep.
So that just might mean that you're just going to have to back off the training load, almost give you a freshen up and then ramp it up again. I mean, as we know, the players are getting much better at being nimble and agile and all those words to try and get themselves in the best shape they can. But
you're never a big fan of pre-season training.
Who is?
That matches, though, it's fair to say.
Well, they're a necessary evil. You have to get match fitness into you and match conditioning, but that's when you're at the risk of getting injured because your body's at the absolute optimal fitness level, and then you have to ramp it up and get the match practice in, but it's when you're most likely to break down.
And it is a shorter pre-season. So the unofficial scratch matches are scheduled for a fortnight. I think there's some chance there'll be no crowds allowed at any of the games there because that would be a public gathering. And then the week after, that's when the Amy Community Series games are to be held. So there's a big watch on that. They're at Marvel Stadium and the big stadium. So they were hoping to get crowds for that, but we will see what happens.